So your partner is telling you as a woman that it's over, or threatening you with divorce, or you have to separate. These things happen, and these things happen to the best of people. No matter how good you are, it can happen to anybody. Why? Because it doesn't take one person to build a marriage, it takes two. And if one is unwilling, then automatically it's not going to work because it takes two for it to work. Now, if your partner has said, okay, it's over, the first thing is that I pray and hope that you are financially able. And they might not even tell you that it's over. You might be the one that wants to leave the union because it's disempowering, it's not serving you, it's toxic, or whatever the reason may be. You may be the woman, as a woman, that wants to actually escape that marriage. Whatever the case may be, oftentimes the clarity is not there. The clarity may not be there. You may know that you want to leave, or somebody might be pushing you out of the union and saying, "No, I don't want it anymore." But the clarity will not be there. Now, what I always recommend, yeah, pray, do all those things. Those are spiritual things, yes, and we want our marriage to work. But sometimes when you hit it, when you hit that point where it's no longer working, and you have hit the reality of, I'm going to be on my own, I'm going to be on my own with the children, especially when you have young children. Those are the ones that I really, really feel for, because the children will feel it. The pressure is on that parent, especially if it's the mother that has to, carry the burden. Not to say that they're not men that are doing great job as single parents. That happens. So try your best for it to be a healthy co-parenting situation. But I know that there are situations where there's physical abuse, it's just not workable. One or both partners are toxic to each other and it's not working. Anyway, seek therapy. Try and find a professional therapist. Don't underestimate the power of a therapist. Try and get a therapist. Even if you can get two, go get one male, one female. Get a therapist to help walk you through. You might not find friends in the church. You might not even be able to tell them, because you find that oftentimes the church has people that are very judgmental. They could have, they start looking down on you. You could have friends that, they may not talk to you again. They will be like, oh, I don't want her near my husband. And I've heard all sort of dirty, nasty things and stuff like that. But I hope that you have friends. I really hope that you have friends. And they don't have to be just the same gender. You can have friends of a separate gender, someone that you can confide in and won't necessarily take your matter out there. The thing is, your matter will go out there ultimately. So prepare for it. Now, if you haven't read my book, or you don't have my book, Overcoming Grief, reach out to me to get it. It's also on my seller account. Just go to look for Ronke Posh on my seller account to get Overcoming Grief. And if you're on Instagram, link in bio to get my book Overcoming Grief, because there's stages of grief. Even when you separate or you divorce, you find that you could be bargaining, you're still trying to tell your partner that we can work this out. You could be confused. You could be at the point where you're so angry. There's so many things and stages that happen when you're going through this separation, when you're going through this divorce process. So hang on and get a therapist. You need good, solid friends. That's why it's good to read a lot, and you should read out of scope. Don't always read just religious books, and don't always, because even the Bible says we should study to show ourselves approved. And it's not just study the Bibles. You study deep, you research, you listen to podcasts, you listen on YouTube, you just listen to different things that would empower and help you grow your mind, because that's one of the best ways to recover when you're going through trauma, when you're grieving. And grieving is not when you lose a human being. Grieving can be the loss of a job. It could be loss of anything. As long as it's a loss and you feel that emptiness, that void, that pain, it is grief, and you will need to overcome that grief. So my book is going to be able to help you with that. So where was I? Another thing that happens, the enemy and will try and mess up your mind. Your mind will be playing tricks on you. You'd hear all sort of things. You would want the pain to go so badly. You want that pain to go so badly, even if it's a loss of a child, maybe the loss of a job. You want the pain to go so bad. You begin to say, oh, whatever. You want to give up anything and everything just for the pain to go away. But that's a dangerous place. You must not make an emotional decision. Whatever the case may be, don't make a decision when you're angry, when you're sad, when you're happy, when you're excited. Some people will say, oh, I'm going to give you 5 million because they're, and then by the time they made that decision because they're happy, when they go back home and check the books, they're like, 5 million. How am I going to do it? Or you subscribe to that Ashwebi, you want to have it, and then you find that it's not really checking out properly. By the time I have to sew it and do all sorts of things. So, yeah. Um, Sorry, I'm just peeping outside because I saw a car outside. So I'm just being that nosy British neighbor this time around. So yeah, where was I? You want the pain to go away. You're willing to do anything just to get the pain to go. No, don't make emotional decisions. Another thing that happens when people are grieving or they're going through a tough time in their relationships with their children, with their spouses, with their partner, whatever, another thing that happens is that you begin to feel as if you're inadequate. You begin to blame yourself. You begin to say it's your fault. And it may be your fault, but it has happened. You need to begin to forgive yourself and say to yourself, I've made a mistake. And even if it's not your fault solely, if it's a relationship, oftentimes it's a shared, I want to say sometimes it's tricky. It's tricky, and I don't want to say it's always one person's fault. It could be heavily one person's fault, but let's just not say that one person is devoid of fault at all. So where was I? Let me pause and remember. Yeah, I remember now. Your mind will play tricks on you. You begin to think that you're not good enough. You begin to think you're inadequate. You don't post on social media anymore. You don't comment on social media. You don't go out anymore. You don't look nice. You don't dress nice. That's not what to do. That is exactly what the devil wants you to do, to be backed up in a corner and just diminish and just fade out. One mistake in your life must not define the rest of your life negatively. It can define the rest of your life positively. So you could lose one or two things and then it inspires you to be great. I've seen people that become better, fresher, more beautiful, more empowered, more financially capable, more influential, more impactful after a breakup or a loss of any kind, as opposed to just backing themselves up in the corner and just saying, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough. You are good enough. You're just going through a phase. And even the Bible says, many are the afflictions of the righteous. Now, people will come and say all sorts of things to you, and people will quote script, even people that mean well, people that love you and are not even necessarily talking about you or gossiping about you. They would, they would quote scriptures. Yeah. I'm not going to do a video with my blinds open next time. Well, I have to look for a time because last time I did it was quiet. Look, put my blinds off, put my blinds on, put my blinds on. So with my blinds on, natural light is always beautiful. You don't need to do all the ring lights and stuff like that. But what I find is that as the neighbors are moving around and stuff, I'm just just being nosy. So yeah, you'd find that your esteem is going to be knocked, your self-worth is going to be knocked. You have to begin to fight for those things. Without your self-esteem, without your self-worth, it's over. It's over, guy. It's over, girl. So fight for your esteem. Do you understand what I'm saying? Make sure that you do everything to ensure that you're eating healthy, you're looking good, you're feeling good, So work on your inside. Read, listen, follow the right people, pray, soak in. Self-care, very, very important at this time. This is not the time to start overdoing things, over shopping with money that you don't have, over indulging in social media, drinking, alcohol, sex, all those sort of things. That's not the time to indulge in all those sort of things. Just find a balance and you don't need a lot of friends. It can even be just one friend or two friends that pray with you, respect your decisions. There are times when I've gone through things. I have a prayer group of friends. I've gone through things and I didn't want to talk about it. And I will say, please just pray for me. Generally, just pray for me to make the right decisions. Just pray for me to be more wholesome. Just pray for me for strength and stuff as I was going through, because I didn't want to talk about it. Sometimes because I've made a decision and I don't want anybody to talk me out of the decision. But having said that, it's something that I might have run through a therapist or somebody that I know is well grounded, or my dad, and I don't want anybody to just talk me out of a decision that I want to make, or I just want my privacy, complete privacy about a particular matter. But you have friends that will respect you enough to understand and still pray for you about those sort of issues. So, what are those things when you're going through all those trials, when things happen to you? Stop fighting back. Um, stop trying to justify yourself. Stop trying to explain to the world. You owe nobody an explanation. Stop trying to position yourself as very good or better than your partner. Try and have a non-toxic relationship. It is possible, even if the other person doesn't want it. Just be at peace. And if you have children, for the sake of your children, just be at peace. They may not talk to you, they may block you. Don't troll anybody on social media. Forgive. It's hard, yes, but it's possible. Just let go. Just keep that person in the corner and just focus on yourself. Don't hide away. Protect your self-esteem, protect your self-worth, look after yourself, exercise, eat healthy, get a therapist, have one or two good friends who can bounce things off them, because you might want to make a decision that is wrong or emotional, and somebody's going to be able to guide you. Don't make independent large decisions. Say, for example, you want to move your location or your house, because it's giving you maybe bad memories of when your child was in the house, or whatever the case may be. You want to move somewhere else, but then you forget that that house is close to your parents or your family or your friends, your support system, and then you move somewhere where you don't have support, and then you even feel more miserable. So make sure that you run things by people. That's not to say that everything that people tell you is always going to be correct, but in the multitude of counsel, there's safety. Even the Bible says that in the multitude of counsel. So you'd have your own decision, your own choices, but at the same time, you must do your best to make sure that whatever the decision is, it serves you. And there's some things that you may not even know about. So if it's a relationship, for example, and I don't really know how it works in Nigeria, because I know that all the things they will say it belongs to the man. But if you're in the Western world, you might not even know your rights. But if you get a lawyer, legal counsel, they might be able to guide you. If it's a relationship that is breaking up, or if it's a loss of a child, they may be able to help you with grief therapy and things like that. There's always help available. Even if you're in a third world country, there's still help available. If you can get access to a video like this, then you can get access to resources online as well. So that means that you're not down, out, and busted, because you have access to internet, you have access to data, so you can get this, so you can get some kind of help online. So I wish you all the best. I hope this video has been able to help you. The topics that you still want me to talk about, just drop it and I will try and create the videos around those. Don't worry, the future is going to be better. There's hope for the future. It's always going to be better, but it starts with you. What has happened to you may not be your fault, but it's your responsibility to move yourself from where you are to where you want to be, and you can do it. I trust you and I believe in you. It is Ronke Posh for now. See ya.